Good evening, Mayor and City Council. There was a gentleman that was going to give a presentation.
Introduce yourself to the...
Oh, I'm sorry. you say. I'm I.L. Weiderman from Sioux Falls. Sorry about that. There was a gentleman going to make a presentation here a few weeks ago about the event center, and he had forgotten one of his instruments to make that presentation. When he got ready to make the presentation a week or so later, he was arrested, so he couldn't make it. He was lost in that great big monstrosity of a jail here in town for 6.5 hours, and he was supposed to be on a PR. Nobody knew where he was at for 6.5 hours until the meeting was over. Then he was able to PR out. I don't understand that. As I've told a number of you before, I've been threatened a number of times for showing up at this meeting and speaking against things that I didn't believe were right. I believe this has become a scare tactic of this administration to scare people from coming up here and talking at this podium. I'm not scared of anybody. I don't care who you are. I will get up here and say something if I think it's wrong. This scare tactic has to stop. And another thing that I found out today, the people that have civil matters that they get cited for, if they want to appeal it, they have to post a $350 bond. I think that's absurd. There's a lot of people that get a citation. They can't afford to come up with $350 to appeal something that they don't think is right. And the other thing is, as the head of the administration, you personally told the city they had plenty of funds, nothing was going to have to be cut with the event center. First thing that's cut is handicap transportation. That is wrong. If the city has so much money, let them keep with the paraplegic transportation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Weiderman. And folks, normally I don't do this, but on behalf of the council, I've only been here 4 years, a little over 4. We've never turned anybody away from speaking at this meeting, and I don't think there's ever any plans to do that. Everybody has the opportunity to engage the council. The only limitations that have ever been put on anybody coming forward is that, again, we've asked them to just give their name, just so we have that for the record. And then secondly, we've only asked that they keep the comments to 5 minutes or less, which generally people just adhere to, but we also will give additional time if we believe that they're speaking on behalf of a group of folks. And then if there's one other thing that we've maybe asked on some of these evenings is we've asked to have separate topics to make the meetings more productive, that you don't repeat the same thing over and over again. But otherwise, and again, I'm not going to counter Mr. Weiderman because he's been a loyal person who has spoken on behalf of this body. But I will let everybody know there is absolutely no one that is turned away from speaking in front of the City Council. And in fact, if there's anybody fighting to have you speak in front of the City Council, it's this City Council. They want to hear from you. And yes, it's this mayor, and we'll continue to do so. Is there anybody else who wants to speak?
However, Mr. Mayor,
yes,
if I may,
Councilor.
I think something needs to be said at this point about threats, if you will, if that's what I would call it, or in implication of saying that we would have somebody picked up, yes, so that they couldn't be here. There is no way that's happened. At least I don't believe you did that. I know I didn't. And I can't believe that unless you have evidence of something like that you can bring with you, please don't bring that kind of whatever you want to call it to this board, this body, because I won't sit back and take it.
Councilor Ruffington. And again, folks, we normally, I apologize, we normally don't engage after someone gives public testimony. We normally don't do that. But in this particular case, I need you folks to understand, absolutely, you're all invited to speak in front of this body. The council fights for it. I fight for it, and will continue to do that. Would anybody else like to engage the council? Mr. Weiderman, you certainly had the opportunity to engage the council. Are you asking to engage them again?
Yes, I am. Robert's Rules of Order does not forbid me from doing so.
If you could just wait, Mr. Weiderman. Council Chair, I'm going to defer to you. You are the council chair of this council. I know you do your best to try to represent them. I will let you decide whether you would like Mr. Weiderman to continue to engage the council.
I don't see any reason why we should preclude him from one more time, Your Honor.
Mr. Weiderman, proceed.
Going by what you said for a rebuttal and the gentleman over there, I never inferred that anybody from the city council or yourself had anything to do with the nightmare that a friend of mine went through. But I have talked to Mr. Erpenbach previously about the threats that have been made to me personally a numerous times. I even had to change my phone number because of threats I was getting. I'd be sitting here and that camera, somebody would call me and I'd have my phone on silent and it would say unknown. Well, I'd answer it, of course, and it was a threat. Why are you sitting at that so-and-so console? Thank you. But I just wanted to clarify that I never inferred that it was anybody from the city council.
Thank you, Mr. Weiderman. Thank you.